No, well, that can't be be careful the program you asked for.
Yeah. Good morning, friends.
Good morning, good people. How are you?
Hang out with us while we figure out our technology lives.
Yeah, you think we'd have this shit together, but we need to get some tech people. There we go.
I was busy giggling at you this morning,
Why
so
were you giggling at me this morning?
uh just now, what were we giggling about?
Oh,
Aside from the fact that I'm glowing.
yeah. Look at y'all. She's like, ooh, she got her sexy on.
And
Or
John's
what's the
pulling
song
on
say? Get your
me.
sexy back or whatever the hell it is. I'm a little bit older, so get your sexy back, get your sexy on. I'm not. I keep on saying that. My kids keep on saying, "Dad, you're 58. That's the new 48." I said, "Tell my knees, tell my back."
Maybe you should tell your knees and your back.
Maybe somebody didn't get the message. Hey, knees, you're only 48.
Um,
No, quit being in denial. It's not a river.
I really wanted to talk about um
Program
the
King Part Two.
I really wanted to talk about the healing that you did with me a couple months ago
Let's
because
talk about it.
I'm pretty sure I told you, but I don't know if you really grasped it. So last fall, y'all, I had depression that was more intense than it has ever been. I've been suicidal before, but not since I was like 12. So, fast forward 28 years. And I was like, wait, what is this? And I hadn't told many people. Like, I told my therapist and one of my healers, but I don't think I had told you that that's what had happened. But I was having these like stints of crying that were annoying and really kind of felt like an alien abduction. And John and his infinite Johnness. I was like, oh, I had this day. I cried all day. It was so stupid. I hated so much. And then you did an entities clearing with me. And I have not had that experience since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. That's powerful. You're
Right.
powerful. I mean,
So I wanted to share that with all of our friends. But also that, a lot of the time with things that are going on in our life, particularly mental health stuff, um, we tend to like be very middle lane about it. Like I have to go to therapy or I have to take medication. And I'm not saying don't do any of those things. I have a therapist.
yeah.
Um, and I've been on medication. It didn't work for me. But I also haven't needed it in a really long time. But that's not really the point here. The point is like there was this feeling that I wasn't myself. And I have tools and I do my own work and I have my own healers. And I've been with my therapist for like 3 years. But there is something spiritual that I think we overlook with these sorts of things. And I just really want to invite everybody to pay attention to what's going on with yourself. There is there's a moment of grief that I had like within the past week, maybe 2 weeks, where something happened and I cried about it and then I moved on with my life like it had never happened. And that's a healthy emotion. Like, that's how emotions are meant to be. They're called emotions for a reason. They're energy in motion. It is meant to happen, move through your system, get processed, and you move on with your
I like
life.
that. I like that. That's dope. I never nobody's ever explained it to me like that. I love
But would you find that you're stuck in the emotion, whatever the emotion is? Chances are you need a session with one of us, or maybe six.
yeah.
But it's not supposed to be chronic. It's not supposed to be ongoing. If it's chronic and ongoing, you need to take a look at that. And I'll speak personally for my own experience with depression. It is always when I feel stuck. It has always been when I feel stuck for the last 31 years. It's like I want something to change. I can't change the thing. I try until I'm exhausted to change the thing. And then I lapse into depression.
Can I add on to that? Can I
Yeah.
piggyback on that? So I also think because last week I had this piece, and so for me, I realized that a lot of mine is my fucking awareness of all people. When I wake up in the morning, people, and you get this, y'all, check this out. When I wake up in the fucking morning, first thing I feel is, "Ugh." I used to let it last, but now I'm just aware of my brothers and sisters. I know people directly in Russia who has an opposing view of what's going on with their country. I know people who I work with. I'm working in a building right now with kids that are traumatized by their parents, by this reality, by school, by their therapists, by everything. And so what I realized is that to prove that how you what you said about emotional related past, the reason that I know it's not real. This is just me speaking. It's not real. None of that shit's real. And I'm gonna show you why. One day I was feeling that way and I was like, and I made a mistake. And on my cell phone, I had Pharrell's Happy. And I hit it on accident and it played. And before I know it, I was doom, 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 doom. I was like, what the hell? And all of a sudden I was like, wait a second. When I got in the car and I was on my commute, I was like, how can I go from here to here that
Listen,
quick? And I realized that Pharrell now on my phone, my go-to music is that. And then I want to watch the video that he's in because the energy. And so what I'm realizing is sometimes there's entities, sometimes it's awareness, sometimes it's your own shit, but you have to be in question as where and there's no wrongness in which direction you want to go. If you use a therapist, great. If you use a healer, great. If you use medication, great. But what I like what you said is that be aware that this is something in motion. Ooh, that's dope. I like that. That's some George Clinton shit.
I want to add on to that. I have my own story about going from to in like a split second. So our friend Sarah Grandinetti and I were
Yes.
having a session. I was having a session with Sarah, and it was before I realized that I get to stay in my house as long as I want to. I get to decide when I leave. And I was like, okay, I have this plan, but I don't know if the plan is going to work. And I tell her the plan, and she's like, so what happens if it doesn't work? And I'm like sobbing, like hysterical sobs, right? And she interrupts my sobbing and goes, and what happens if it does? Tears dry up like a 2-year-old given a cookie. And I was like, maybe this isn't real. Maybe I'm manufacturing these sobs. I mean, it was real, but also at the same time, it was where my focus was. My focus on it's not working kept me sobbing, or it might not work, or I might fail, right?
Yeah.
Versus putting my focus. And I didn't see this happening the way that I thought that it was going to happen. I just absolutely knew that I was going to have to grow my business or get a job or some version of that so that I could afford this house. And the universe was like, here's $12,000. Just hang out,
Yeah.
pay your rent, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do to heal.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And here's the other thing, Lila. I want to say to people, please ask God, ask the universe, ask Allah, ask Yahweh, ask the
ask
earth
specifically,
specifically. Yes.
because if you just ask,
Sometimes it comes in.
you don't
And
know
also
who's
be
going to
open.
show up to help you.
So, but also be willing to allow it to show up any way that it can, because sometimes you have this pinpoint thing. It's like for example, I think it was you, or maybe it was my other friend Shreya who said to me, I was like, I want to win the lottery, and I kept on explaining why I want to learn. Why I've been telling you I want to go fishing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go fishing is my new go-to. I want to fish, but just the energy of fishing is what I'm really after.
Yeah.
The quiet, the calm, not being bothered by anybody, maybe even with my son, watching the fish, watching the animals around, watch the fish come out of the water, being having gratitude for that. The money of the lottery that I'm talking about is that I would like to move my parents to a new place right now, and the energy of like I can do that because I want to right now. Uh, Be open that maybe it might not be a state lottery or federal lottery, but somebody will leave you a lot of money. And what
Yeah.
I'm saying is that in that ask, a lot of times I don't think people ask or reach out. You know, you don't have to be alone, people. And we're programming is that with our program, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Fuck them bootstraps. Them motherfuckers tore 10, 20 years ago. So ask
Yeah.
somebody to help you put your goddamn boots on if you need help.
Word. And that's a deeper conversation for a future time. But yes, be open to how it shows up. But when I say be specific about the ask, what I really mean is be specific about who you ask. Because you were
Hmm.
like, ask God
Say
or
more about
Allah,
that.
or, well, because you weren't there in the call last week, but a lot of us hired entities to help us with things. But what
Yes.
happens
Yeah.
when you hire an entity to help you with something? You don't know who you hired. You don't send them away when they're done. Now you got a toddler finger painting poop all over your life and you
Yeah.
don't know what happened.
That motherfucker be a demon too.
Stop doing that, friends. So when you ask specifically, I tell people all the time, I yell at God. I don't know if you want to have the same relationship with God that I do, because I have sat in my car and been like, listen, I have done everything and I am tired, and you will fix this and fix it now because it is your job to take care of me. I don't know if you want to talk to God that way, but that's my relationship with God,
I
and God
like
is
that.
cool with me.
Yeah.
Sometimes God looks at me like little girl, but
Pat you on your butt, keep it moving.
yeah, like, oh, you're so cute, you're throwing a tantrum, it's coming, sit
Yeah.
down. But I have learned, and I'm glad that I took, I don't know if it's in the bars manual or the foundation manual, but I'm glad that I got the experience of both of those, because Gary says, like, don't ask for help. Don't randomly call out for help.
Yeah.
That's how you end up possessed.
Yeah.
Um,
Get
but
the message.
because you don't know who's answering that random ask. But if
Right.
you're like, God, you need to fix this, you know who you're
Yeah.
asking, you know who's answering. You know, if anybody else gets sent, they have to be benevolent, they have to be on your side, they have to be a contribution, and then go and take their ass somewhere else when they're done.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. That's
Yeah.
dope.
I mean, I
Being
have asked
specific with your
specifically. I've
ask.
asked my mom specifically for things. I have ancestors that I connect with that I
Hmm.
have specifically asked. But for the most part, like, I definitely don't now just randomly ask for help with
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Dope. I gotta remember that. I have to remember that. So yeah. And also, because we're talking about being this programming, these techniques we're talking about help break that programming too,
Yes.
big time. You
Yes.
know, I in Access, part of this group that I belong to, they've been talking about avoiding and defending shit. And uh, I was thinking about something that you had said, and I've been looking at my own addictions. You guys don't know, I have an addiction to sugar. I love sugar. And there was if I can tell this quick story, it's a quick story of Gandhi I thought I was told by somebody that Gandhi was being questioned by this lady in the village, and she was asking him to fix her son or daughter with some sugar, and the kid had this problem with eating sugar or having sugar in tea and everything. And Gandhi looked at the lady and the woman and the child and said, "Meet me back here a week, and we can discuss this." He went back, and I think the story goes that he tried not to put sugar in his uh, tea for a week. And he came back and he told the mom to have grace with her daughter or child because he attempted to not have sugar in his diet, and it was difficult. And what I realized in that I was this morning, this came to me about programming it's not the addiction to the drugs or anything. I'm gonna try to get this correct with my mindset when I was driving this morning because I haven't written this down yet. So the addiction to me, a part of this I heard from somebody. I think Dane might have had a conversation with me about this shit. Uh, it's the choice thing that it takes you out of. And it's not a negative thing. It's just a deflector because while you're doing that, for example, for me, in the morning when I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I ate that ice cream and had 2 cookies and some pecans. The pecans would have been fine. So where am I every night having the desire before I go to bed to have this? And why am I not in question? It's okay if I want to have it, but I'm now this week, if I have it, I'm only going to have it if after having a question with myself, conversation with myself. And I'm not going to avoid it anymore. Like I got to say, y'all, I finally got my taxes in, and yeah, I turned my taxes in and everything, and I made more money this year than I ever expected. I'm like fucking like, what the fuck? And what that did for me, and I was all butthurt, had to do the taxes this weekend, the last minute, humanoid shit. But what I realized is now I'm going to have a closer relationship with my bank account instead of avoiding it. Because the program for me is I don't have enough. I don't have enough. I don't have enough. I don't have enough. I know you legalist making fun of me, but what happens now
I know
is
nothing about that. I don't have that experience at all.
so the programming with that is that you walk around thinking you did not have enough, and what you really had is an abundance of what you thought you didn't have. And what if you have seen that earlier, monthly or weekly or daily? Would that have changed your ask, your expectation, your knowing that you can be? And so the same thing,
The
like,
energy that you be,
yes,
because the energy of I don't have enough is a
man,
vastly different energy than the
yes,
energy of the universe always
yes,
provides.
yes. And so I say this because what would it be like if and I say this because y'all know I like music out there, and occasionally to remind myself about that. Uh, there is a song by George Clinton, and I have to get the title of reprogram, deprogram, reprogram.
Mm.
And would you be willing to deprogram yourself and then not be programmed, but be into question, a real question of yourself, of having conversations with you? For me, this is my example. This is personal. I am having an experience this week. I haven't eaten any. I usually try not to eat until like 11 a.m. every morning. But if I'm not hungry at 11 a.m., I'm not eating. I'm gonna start having a body. I'm only gonna eat when my body desires. I've been asking my body. So everything that I put in my mouth, that sounds kind of weird, but food wise, I'm gonna have everything. I'm gonna have a question, John. What do you desire? What do you fucking desire? What do you fucking desire? There's Lila go. My sisters don't go there, girl. Don't go there.
I'm there.
No, my girl.
All right,
She's
I'm
stupid,
better.
y'all. She's stupid. She's so stupid. She making sure. Oh my god. Oh my god.
You're about to turn into a pumpkin.
Yes.
I gotta go
Uh.
back to work.
Okay.
What are you inviting
Was
people to?
I am going to be in Florida starting on the
Foundation.
27th of this month.
Is
I'm
foundation
doing
online and in person or
it's
just in person?
online and in person. Foundation is online in person. I'm doing bars Thursday morning of the 28th, starting at 9:30. You go to my website, www.beingjohnashford.com. I'm looking for people. I really this foundation class too. You have to have bars before you come to foundation. I'm going a day early for people who want to come and don't have bars yet. But y'all, I've been on this shit. This foundation gonna be off the fucking hook. It ain't gonna
Okay,
be this
John.
video, man. You better bring your magic carpet because you're gonna have to have that bitch just keep up with me in this class this time.
Creating things.
Magic bus.
I
What
love
about
it
you,
so
girl? What you
much.
doing?
Feast is coming. It is a group membership experience. I don't have the link yet because I do shit this weekend. But I will have it by next week. And then, oh God, what else is coming? I'm not doing another happy hour, but I'm doing something happy hour adjacent. I'm gonna have a social. which is going to be an experience for you to come hang out, be seen, be heard, get some facilitation. It's kind of like happy hour upgraded. So that'll be happening in May. Oh, and there's going to be a class on burnout because a lot of us are burned
None
out.
of us know none about that shit. And are you truly burned out?
Right, exactly that. Exactly that. So all of those are coming. I will have links for all of them next week. Right now, I've got a case of the Mondays.
Yeah. And you all, I'm trying to get this girl to decide, let's do a podcast, because I think this podcast, I think we're on to something. But anyway, hint, hint, hint. Calling
There
out.
might be a podcast and a Patreon coming. Stay tuned.
Yes. Okay, people, I'm a pumpkin. I'm a pumpkin. Bye-bye.